Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com and welcome to the third video in, learning React. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend this video just kind of building out our application a little bit more so that way there's a little bit more to play with and we can see a little bit of what we learn more in action. So right now we have this index.js file. There's a couple things we want to add. We want to add the ability to style because right now it's just a standard text. And the thing is that there's not really one way to style React components just because of the nature of how React works. You know, it depends what you're trying to do. If you're creating sort of a series of components that you plan, let me just send out that error. Now if you're creating a bunch of components that you plan on packaging and redistributing to other people, so you want to make it where they don't have to worry about the styling ahead of time, you can do inline styling. So you could do something like, you know, this hello tag would then have like a style property. Oh, I erased the other prop, but whatever. It would have like a style property, and that would have all your styling. I'm not gonna do that, but in this video, we're just gonna do a standard, you know, global CSS file. But the benefit of that, of inline styling, is that since each style and each component is internally defined, then you don't have to worry about when you reuse it whether the style sheet's configured correctly or anything like that. You can use the component, which is fine if you're just distributing like one component, and then what you may want to do is use some props to kind of define some of the elements of that particular component, so that way it has some customizability. But that's a little bit beyond the scope of at least this portion of the videos. We might get back into that later on. What we're going to do is we're just going to create a standard global CSS file. Okay, so we're just going to go boop, 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 new file. We'll stick to our convention, index.css. Okay, and then we need to include that in our HTML file. So in our head tag, so let's do link. There we go. And then this is just going to go to index.css. So let's just practice it a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna give that h1 tag, or we can just style the h1 tag real quick and then we'll delete it. So h1, we'll say its color, text color is basically midnight blue. Okay, save. So make sure that go back to my index.json, make sure this is add. Right now it's running on the state anyways. So h1, hello, good. So we're gonna hit save. And let's go back and take a look, and you see the color has changed. Okay, it is now midnight blue, that really sort of darkish blue. So that works fine. We'll see how we'll use that going further. So now we need to set it up so that way we can create multiple components. There's a general convention of what people do. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a folder, new folder, called components. We want to store all our components in there just to keep everything a little bit more organized. And what we're going to do here is that we're going to get rid of our, what we'll do, let's do this. Components. Let's create a new file in there called hello.js. And we're going to copy over our hello component, cut into there. And then you want to do a default or an explicit export. There's two ways you could do it. You could do an explicit export like this, which means you're exporting it with the name hello, versus doing something like down here, going afterwards export hello, or default export hello. And I could do that, and that would export it, and then I can export it into another file with any name, but I just think that looks more pretty. So we're going to save that file. We may have to, well, I don't think since we're using React CDN, we may not have to worry about that, so we'll come back to that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to import hello from dot slash components slash hello.js. We're going to bring that in. Okay, and I didn't take in the whole component, so let me go bring in the rest of the component there. Cut. Save. Just make sure that all this adds up. Yep. 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 Okay, so that's all is in sound. Now, technically, I think this should still be working. Let's take a look. Okay, that disappears. So let me import hello. React.render. Okay, so quick lesson. So from what I can tell, it's because that we're using React as a CDN link here, that the import and export functions from ES6 aren't quite working the way I'd expect them to. So we'll continue like this. So I'm going to bring that component back. Let me just pause that for a moment. Yes, Brooklyn has a lot of sounds, but so basically what happened, so what I tried is I tried to import the component as another script in the HTML, and that still didn't work. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to do it all in one file, just to kind of illustrate the concept. And then later on, we're going to introduce Create React App. Now what Create React App will do is it'll create a version of React that works straight out of Node. Okay, and then actually provides you with all the particular tools out of the box. But first I wanted to kind of show you how to kind of set up your own React environment before we use sort of this automated environment and you take a lot of what's set up for granted. And you know what Create React App is sort of providing you. So when we do that, you'll have this kind of set up here, but we'll come back to that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take that hello.js and we're going to cut that out. And we're going to go back to our index.js and put it back over here. Okay, let's save that for a moment. Just make sure that it's come back to life over there on our page. Interesting. Now it's like permanently broken. Okay. Oh, let's see. Let me go back to index.html and save that. That's probably part of the problem. Save that. Let's close the hello.js. And let's take a look. Still gone. Weird. Because we technically just had it working a second ago. Okay, and then yes, I'm leaving it like recording. I oftentimes like to leave the recording so that way you see how I troubleshoot a little bit. And let's take a quick look so that way we can kind of see where the problem may be together. Okay. Well, we don't need this line anymore, even though it's commented out. Let's read this. Hello extends React component. That looks good. Constructor, return, h1, hello. This all looks good. I don't remember really changing anything in index aside from that one line that I've taken out. We had the style sheet, but it was still working with the style sheet. So let's save that. And here's what I'll do. I'm going to close that tab out. We're going to create a new tab and go back to localhost. I think we're at localhost 3000 or 3001. We'll find out in a moment. Well, it's finding it because we see that the title is intact, but for some reason our element has disappeared. see your syntax error, localhost, unexpected token. Okay, so we do have some sort of syntax error did form at some point. So where did I accidentally put a semicolon? Actually, I think I can get rid of the semicolon here. Was that what it was referring to? Expected on line 4. Fellow extends a component. That should be fine. Constructor. Yeah, why is there a semicolon on the constructor? Oh no, that's the creation of the object. There should be a semicolon there. We don't need a semicolon there. That should be good. And let's see what we're getting here. Still a error. Hello. Oh, that's the problem. I cut out the word class. Okay, the errors don't doubt the errors. The errors are right. You are wrong. Okay, cool. So that should be back up and running, and there we are. Okay, so to explain what I was going to do, it's just in a separate file. We're going to have the hello component, and then we were going to create our app component. So generally, every React application generally really starts off with the app component. Okay, and the way this one works is actually, it's not even usually, it's usually just a function component. So it's just basically const app equals, I'm not going to pass in any props, so we're not going to worry about that. Okay, and basically here's where we actually define our application. So right now we're just going to define, so we're just going to render okay, we're just going to render right now just a straight up hello. Cool. Oh, return, not render. Not a class. Return hello. Cool. So that's essentially all that's going to be. And then we're going to replace this, and actually we'll still, well, we don't even need the name because right now it's still coming from the state of the class component. So here we would put app. So instead, now it's going to be rendering the app component on the index page, but the app component calls hello. So let's see if that all looks good, and it's still looking good. Good. It works. So we have hello. We don't really need the hello component anymore. Now we're going to start actually building an actual site, but I just want to get that set up, and so you can see how the styling is going to be. Now let's kind of scope out the way we're going to style here. So let's go back to our index.css. I'm going to get rid of this h1 styling. So what I like to do is always just kind of label everything out. So I'm going to have my global styles, so like things I want to apply everywhere. I'm going to have and then I'm just going to comment that out. Now in the next video, we're going to create our navigation component. So I'm going to create a little area to do our navigation styling. And then here, we'll leave it at that. Global styles, navigation. As we add components, we'll add more areas just to break it up in that index file so it's easier to find what you're looking for. You could do multiple CSS files. So if you wanted to do like group a particular set of components to kind of be together, you can just provide one CSS file for those components. But it works just like styling anything else. There are going to be some nuances. When you're in JSX, okay, if you want to use classes, you're not going to use class equals style, whatever class. You're going to have to use class name equals whatever class. So keep that in mind. So we'll create our navigation in the next video, because this video has already kind of gone a little longer than I'd like to. So I'll see you guys in the next one.